Cosmetic Surgery and Laser Center. In today's world and with today's ever-growing technology, we all know a picture can be taken anywhere at any time and shared in an instant. We also know that our patients live active lives and we want you to always look your best. So stay tuned as we bring you our series called True Selfies.
Perfect. So I found you guys through Real Self. I was looking for other doctors and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do in terms of facial feminization surgery and my breasts. All the girls didn't get like the right outcome from their surgery. They were just kind of like a little botched. So I found Dr. Mendelsohn and I started emailing him through Real Self, and he was just so helpful, like right from the beginning. He always like was fast replying to me, and he just answered all my questions, and like we set up a consultation. I got in here, I met everyone here, and everyone was so nice and so kind. So I just felt like really comfortable, not only with Dr. Mendelsohn, but with Dr. Meyer. Okay, so I came in for my consultation. I got to meet with Dr. Mendelsohn and Dr. Meyer on the same day. I really got a moment to gather all my questions, and there was not like a second that I felt like uncomfortable with either of them. They just really like helped me pick out like what I wanted exactly and like to reach my goal without being too like out of like the ordinary or being too like animated or anything. So my surgery's in 6 days and I'm super excited. Something I've waited a really long time for. So what we're doing with Dr. Mendelsohn is facial feminization surgery. We're working on like my bone structure and everything. So we're doing my brow bone, just gonna kind of boss that down and get it as flat as possible, because from the side it kind of protrudes, and that's just what happens, and testosterone and everything ruins my body. So my brow bone, we're gonna do my nose. We're doing a lip lift, so we're doing a subnasal lip lift, so he'll go in underneath my nose and just kind of lift everything up. And then we're doing just a little bit of work on my chin as well. Yeah, and my breasts with Dr. Meyer. So I started transitioning when I was like 15. I realized I was trans, which was earth-shattering. It was so crazy for me. I never really like understood like what I was going through, and then I would see like all these trans girls that were older than me, and they would be getting all these surgeries and just all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I want this, and this would make me feel better, and like this is how I'm actually supposed to look. So I was probably like 16 when I like looked at my brow bone and I was like, oh my God, that is so not cute, or I really don't like the way that looks, or you know, I've been worried about wearing my hair up for so long and having to like worry about like what angle people look at me, which sounds so silly to like any normal person, but like when you're trans it's different because you're just like under a microscope constantly. So I'm 22 now, so I think after just taking a time out, because when I was 18 I was like, I'm gonna go now, this is what I want, like this and this. I was not realistic at all. I totally thought I was gonna be like 4'11" and an Asian lady. Like I thought I was gonna come out a completely different person. So I think taking a few years and a little bit of time to like really just like fall in love with myself, and just realizing like, okay, there's only one of me. I love myself, and I just am gonna take what I have and enhance it, like just make it better. So yeah, that's why the time is now, and I'm excited. So growing up, I was just kind of always like different, I guess. And I didn't really know what was going on, honestly. And I don't think, well, when I was 14, my mom passed away. So I think after my mom passed away and I was like 15 years old, and I realized, oh my God, I have one shot, you know, I only have one life, and I have to do this, I have to transition. Like, I remember being at my dad's house, like early in the morning on YouTube, and some girl's like video popped up, and it was like my transition. I was like, well, what does that mean? So I clicked on the video, and I like listened to everything she said, and it all just like made sense to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not a boy, or oh my God, this is why I felt this way, or this is why I only hung out with girls growing up, or why I didn't feel comfortable taking my shirt off to swim, or like everything. Just, you know, being 15 years old and going through so much, I think I was dealing with losing my mom, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm trans. That's crazy. So how do I deal with that? And then I think I became really harsh on myself about like the way I looked, because I was like, I don't look like a girl, and that like really hurt me a lot, because I was like, that's not how I feel, and that's not like what my brain is telling me or anything, and like my heart. So I think just when I was like 16, I think when everyone starts really worrying about like how they look, like girls especially, and that's who I am, so I was so worried about that, but I definitely had to take that time to like really love myself before we did this. Really, my whole family has been supportive. I mean, there's always, of course, like a little rocky moment where, you know, it was hard for my dad, just because he's a firefighter. He's very like old school, manly, whatever. And then here I am like, hey Dad, how are you? So yeah, but he's definitely come around so much. Like he just has told me like, I just want you to be happy, and like that's what your mom would have wanted. So yeah, I think the support of my family has been really important. And my grandma, she's so awesome. She's like my best friend in the whole entire world. So I wasn't really worried. I think because since I was little, I've always been myself. Like it was Spice Girls dolls, then it was Bratz dolls, and then it was like just all girl stuff. Like I've always been this way, you know? So I didn't really start like realizing like, oh, I need surgery until I was 16. But growing up, I was just always Carmen, you know, but I wasn't yet. I didn't have a name to put with myself. Like, I think just my family always let me be myself, and I think that was what was really important. Just being like, no, let her play with whatever she wants, or let her hang out with her girl cousins. She doesn't want to play football. Like, no, that's not what was about to happen here. So, yeah, I think growing up, it was just weird because not a lot of people had come out as trans, and there wasn't a lot of information on it. Like I was just told like, you're gay. So that's what I thought, but I was like, I'm not gay. It's not what's happening. So just like realizing everything, like everyone's so much more open now. Like it's crazy how much has changed. I always thought like, oh, I'll never be able to like have a family, or I'll never go have a real job, or I'll never be successful or do what I want because like I thought I was a weirdo. I thought I was a freak. And then I realized I was like, I'm literally just like everyone else. And I think that's like the biggest thing. When I meet people, it's just like, I need you to know that like I'm like any other girl. Like I'm a little bit tall and yeah, right? So it just, I don't know. Life is so interesting, and I just definitely feel it in my heart that right now is my time, you know, to be happy and grow in all the ways. Over a year ago, probably like a year and a half now, I started hormone replacement therapy. So I didn't get to start earlier just because things with my parents, like with my dad and everything, he just didn't understand, so I didn't want to like put that stress on him. So I finally got to start hormones, which was crazy. I am already very emotional, so adding like fuel to the fire was insane. I did, for surgery though, I had to go off of my hormones just, you know, for whatever reason. And that it's really weird not having estrogen in my body right now. I mean, I still do, but not as much as I should. So I feel like I'm like emotional, I'm like crying about certain things I shouldn't be, but you know, I understand this is totally a part of it, and it's the only safe way to go about having surgery, so I'll be back on that medicine and I'll be happy. As of right now, I think this is like the most important thing going on. After I have surgery and I'm all healed and everything, I just want to work towards moving out of Ohio, of course. I would love to just entertain or be on like YouTube or anything like that, doing makeup videos, doing makeup, being a makeup artist, like anything. I just know that this is like gonna totally improve like the quality of my life, just because it's not me just coming in here and like hating my nose. Like, this is me coming in here to make sure that I look the way I should have from the beginning, before, you know, testosterone got in my body and puberty and all that stuff. So yeah, right now we're just happy that we finally made it to surgery, and then we're not sure what's happening next, but we'll get there and it'll be super good. And I'm excited just for life in general. So everyone in the office is like obsessed with this photo that I face-tuned. I'm sure a lot of people know what Facetune is. So basically, I just took a photo from my profile view from the side, which is absolutely the worst, and that's my biggest insecurity, is the way I look from my profile. So I took this picture and I kind of just tweaked all the areas that Dr. Mendelsohn will be doing work on, and I just wanted to ask him, is this realistic? Do I want to look like a cartoon, and am I crazy? And he was like, this is my goal, like that is the goal. He got so excited when he saw like how I want my nose, because he was like, this is gonna be so much fun. So I was like, yes, do whatever you need to do. So here is this photo. Let me see. I don't know if it will focus. But yeah, so this is the goal. He'll have this with him in surgery, so he'll be able to look at it and make sure he can get me as close to perfect as possible. So I think my end goal is definitely like ultra gorgeous, like super little nose, like big lips, baby doll chin, like no chin, just kind of perfect, like how you see all the photos on Instagram photoshopped, but I want it to be like that in real life. So, you know, like Kim or Kylie or any of those gorgeous women, I think just growing up, especially with like Courtney and Kim and Chloe, like all of them, I grew up and I realized, oh my God, this is why I'm so into makeup, or why I'm so into fashion, or this is really like my end goal, what I would like to do, and what I would like to look like, because obviously they're so beautiful. So yeah, that's really the goal, is just to be the best version of myself I can be, I guess. Definitely. But flawless, of course. I've just been sharing stuff on my Snapchat, and I actually need to go buy a camera, because I'm gonna vlog this whole thing. So yeah, I'm gonna put it all out on YouTube and everything. So everyone like on Instagram or whatever, not that I have like a super big following, but the people that do follow me, I just was kind of like, I'll see you in 2 weeks or 2 months Instagram, just because I'm just gonna take a little break while I'm all bandaged up and recovering. So I've kind of kept, I've let a few people know what's happening. I let like people on Facebook know, because I think that's a little more personal. But everyone else out there is like, what's happening in 2 months, or what's happening in 2 weeks, or what's happening in 6 days? And I'm like, I guess we'll just have to see.